Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's episode of Triggered. I'm your host, Zachary Clark, and you all know my co-host, Adam Furman. Adam, how you doing tonight?
Doing good.
Excellent. And we're coming to you live from the lazy front porch of our $500,000 starter home.
Very good.
Yeah, there was some news. We'll get into it a little bit later, but apparently it's really not a problem for Zennials and Millennials to buy homes and to have all their dreams come true financially these days. It just takes hard work and a $200,000 inheritance.
It's not even that much. I mean, it's not even that. It's like pre-inheritance. I don't know. They're still people are still alive.
We'll get into it. But we hope you enjoy the show tonight. Grab yourself a nice cold beverage and tip it back, because you're going to want to be at least half drunk for this.
Whoa. If you're of legal age, which is 28 now, I think, right? Is that what the government moved it up to?
No, they kept it at 21. You can still die for your country at 18, but you cannot even smoke a cigarette in the state of Illinois. Or vape. Vaping's a tobacco product. How is it a tobacco product? It just is. You inhale it, it means it's tobacco. They put nicotine in it. But it's not. You're not smoking it. It's like a vapor of some kind.
Zach, they just don't want to make you look. They don't want you to look cool. Is what the government's involved in. Oh 100%. Man, I remember watching this dude exit a Taco Bell. He was an employee, and he just exited it. He's like out the door, and then that was it. That was like his smoke break.
Yeah, just
I don't know.
Belching clouds of vape. That's way cooler.
Super cool.
Way cooler than letting up a smooth Marlboro Light.
my grandfather said, the stories I heard, it was actually my grandma. Her and my grandpa were, tit for tat. And my grandma was like, oh, I know, you know why your grandfather started smoking? So that, at any given time, you could put a cigarette out in someone's eye. And he's like, damn straight.
Well, you never know when you're going to want to insult somebody by blowing a cloud of smoke into their face or putting a cigarette out on them. Really, two very fast ways to get into a fist fight in my personal experience.
No, I don't have any personal experience. I did see, incidentally, now that you mention it, there was when Illinois did its 15 feet from the entrance ban. You can't smoke within 15 feet. I don't know if it's still that or if it's 30 feet now. Whatever. But exited the dorms with some dorm mates, floor mates and stuff, and there was some guys smoking on the bench right outside the door, and we're all walking, and one of them, he stops and he stares at the guys who were smoking, and he's like, "Are you stupid?" And the guys sitting down are like, what? He's like, you can't read the sign? And he's like, what are you talking about? You can't be 15 feet away. You have to be 15 feet away. And he takes the cigarette out of their mouth and he flicks it back at them like a madman.
Yeah, I would have tackled him into the bushes.
No, a handful of us are just like, oh, bye.
Oh, it's just
he did not get into a fight.
He didn't?
Way, dude.
He would have got beat up.
I think it was one of those, we talked about it this week about, a dangerous man versus a madman type deal. I think it was one of that. It's like, oh, this guy's insane. Don't know what he's doing.
It just sounds like a dick.
Yeah, well,
Not
I'm
really
just saying.
crazy. Blackbeard came out on deck with lit cannon fuses woven into his beard. That guy just grabbed a cigarette out of somebody's mouth and flicked it back in him.
he was, it was insane, and I don't know. Oh, he probably would have gotten punched in the face, but I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know.
He was outnumbered too. I don't know.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
think maybe people were just shocked that it was actually happening.
Well, I don't know. Maybe those guys. Maybe they were just. Maybe they understood. They realized, like, oh, you're correct. Oh, this is a reasonable response to us making a mistake and smoking.
It's a reasonable response, though. It is. It was not.
Oh, you've shown us the error of our way, kind sir. Thank you. And your humiliation that you've delivered upon us is well deserved. Go on about your business.
Yeah, dude, there were like 3 of them. I don't know.
Well, I'd have tackled him into the bushes. So. That'd be what he would have got for me. If I had been smoking a cigarette that fine day at that NIU campus entryway. But people just have no regard in general, and that is more evident than anywhere else here on the Scanner Radio. From the inbox, heads up. There's someone going around egging people's cars down 5th Street. If my 2-year-old's window would have been down, he would have got smacked in the face.
Wow, there are people in the car?
Yeah. Apparently people were probably some idiot kids driving around throwing eggs at people's cars.
Well, on 5th Street, you're lucky that's all that happened.
Oh, what are you trying to say?
Saying it's a rough patch of town.
Oh, why would you say that?
Because there's crime over there.
Because eggings happen there?
No.
Interesting.
Car thefts.
Yeah, that could be. Yeah, I don't know. People, no respect.
That's
Hey,
houses
they got.
and
Hey, I get no respect in here. It's like my Rodney Dangerfield impression. Hey,
Who?
I get no respect. My wife. Let me tell you about my wife. Oh, Rodney. Yeah, there wasn't much else on the old scanner here. An undetailed fight. A fight was reported, and that was it. So, I think fight season is just like not happening this year. So,
Well, it picked up when we had those couple weeks of 90-degree temperatures, 100-degree temperatures.
yeah,
But it's been like rainy and surprisingly cool.
monsoon
Like-
season, full swing.
I don't know. It's so weird. And it's like low 80s. I don't know. It's not hot enough for people like their tempers flaring. Bust out the machetes and hammers and pipes.
And it's really hurting the show. So, we need to get some heat. Adam, breaking news, straight from NBC News itself. Arizona County election officials have identified fewer than 200 cases of potential voter fraud. Just in, 200 proven cases of voter fraud have been identified in Arizona. Voter fraud played an important role in the 2020 election. Proven cases. Hundreds of cases of proven cases of voter fraud happened. This just in, and we will continue to assess the situation as it develops.
Yeah. I think we've talked about this on the show before about how it's like, it's obviously you're naive if you think it didn't ever happen.
Well,
And our question is to how, like, to what degree
No, 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 Adam. You have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt with multiple points of evidence each and every fraudulent vote that was cast, and that tallied number of fraudulent votes needed to add up to a result that would have altered the outcome of the election. And only then does fraud matter at all.
uh, what I'm seeing here is there's at least 200 crimes that took place.
Adam, it's only 200 out of there was 3 million ballots cast in the election total.
Yes. Only two out of 3 million for what, that county or for the state?
For
It's got to
the
be the.
I don't
It's
know.
got to be the state. Well, wait. This is
Arizona.
Arizona, right? It's got to be the, because it's Maricopa, right?
I don't know. I do know that this article wasn't intended to be an explosive revelation that fraud occurred, but was calculated to downplay the amount
Definitely.
of discovered fraud.
Yes.
Because there was two of those election reviews that are being conducted, one in Arizona and one in Georgia, released some of their results this week. And, I mean, I don't know anything about it. But they seem to indicate that there was some suspect activity, duplicate votes being counted, people voting who weren't eligible to vote, and evidence of all this stuff and their votes being counted in the election. And so, in response to all of that, NBC puts this article out that says, no, well, hey, some fraud did happen. 200 instances shown beyond a reasonable doubt.
Yeah. No, very weird too, because this morning it was all the rage to say there was zero fraud. So, very strange. Inconsistent too.
No. They say zero fraud, or they say, no, there was fraud. There was like 2 instances, and those people voted for Trump. See, it was the Republicans. It wasn't even Biden. Trump lost. Take more copium, loser. Loser, you lost. Wait, wasn't there 200 incidences of proven fraud that occurred? Whatever, loser, that wouldn't have made a difference. It doesn't matter if an investigation revealed that our system was subject to fraud that cannot be discovered through multiple recounts and reviews, but only through an in-depth audit by a partisan group. Revealing that maybe the 200 votes wasn't the only fraudulent votes that were cast. But don't worry about that, man. That's just in your mind.
Yeah, we did. It was last week or the week before we covered the New York City voting stuff too. So
yeah. Oh, we just accidentally had 100,000 votes or whatever. That's okay.
I'll always be suspicious when they're like, "Oh, this is the most." Well, and also figure out what they what their the meaning behind the words that they use when they're like, "This is the most secure election of all time." Like, they're either lying to you, or when they say secure, they mean like, I don't know, they had the most police at the polls or something.
Yeah. No one was electioneering within 100 feet of any polling place because it was all done in the mail. Most secure election ever. But don't worry, Adam.
Although I do remember. Do you remember the post? The little mailboxes being stolen?
They weren't being stolen. They were being removed strategically from poor people in minority neighborhoods to prevent them from being able to vote by mail in the completely most secure and election of the most popular president in the United States history.
People won't even. Oh, you're gonna walk to another freaking mailbox. It's like 200 feet away.
No,
We go to the next
there are
block
no
away.
mailboxes anymore, anywhere, ever.
I actually found one that's down the street. It's like on a residential neighborhood. It doesn't make any sense. I was like driving. I'm like, what is? There's no strategic value to it being there.
Mail
It's
is
like off of Vermont. I don't know. It's weird.
mail is no longer delivered or picked up in anywhere in these communities.
It's, you know, in my community sometimes too. It's like, where's I'm doing an electric bill sometime.
I mean,
You're late. You're late. I'm like, I didn't even get one.
I moved paperless.
Yeah, that's what you got to do.
Hey,
It's like, hey, I got this electric bill that was sent out 3 weeks ago. It's due tomorrow.
Oh man, that's like the mail I get at work. Anyway.
Yeah, well, there's that too.
Adam, I don't want you to worry. I don't want you to worry about these elections because the Congress is on it. Congressional Democrats of the House Oversight Committee launched an investigation into the Maricopa County audit of the 2020 election in Arizona. The federal government's going to come in here and secure things, Adam. They're going to make sure that it's on the up and up. But in real life, this is the feds. Oh, I can't even hear you. I lost you.
You can hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. So it's not just it's not just the federal government. It's like one party of the federal government.
Well, they're in power, so the House Oversight Committee, which is run by Democrats.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But really, this is interference with a state's conduction of its election by the federal government. And, it's this. This gentleman had an interesting take. Arizona sheriffs should be prepared to arrest any federal officials who attempt to interfere in Arizona's constitutional duties in regards to elections. Anyone ordering those officials should have warrants issued for their arrest.
Ooh.
Spicy.
Yeah, that's what Missouri did with their Second Amendment protection law or whatever.
Yeah. That's the way it's going to go down, my friend. We talked about this the other day. The Civil War, when it happens, is just going to be a fracturing of the country into states and regional powers. It's going to be interesting. But this was some good accelerationism down that road for everybody just to get a snifter full of. Oh, yeah. Some good accelerationism. Straight toward the Civil War. Which, if you didn't know, is literally happening in the country right now as we speak. The President of the United States even said so himself.
Lay things out on the line. Honor your trust with trust. So hear me clearly.
Hear him clearly.
There's an unfolding assault taking place in America today, an attempt to suppress and subvert the right to vote and fair and free elections. An assault on democracy, an assault on liberty, an assault on who we are as Americans. For make no mistake, bullies and merchants of fear, peddlers of lies, are threatening the very foundation of our country. It gives me no pleasure to say this. I never thought in my entire career I'd ever have to say it. But I swore an oath to you, to God, to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution. That's an oath that forms a sacred trust to defend America against all threats, both foreign and domestic.
Both foreign and domestic. That's my
The
president.
assault on free and fair elections is just such a threat. Literally. I've said it before. We're facing the most significant test of our democracy since the Civil War.
The most significant test of our democracy since
Confederates back then
the Civil War.
never breached the Capitol.
The Confederates back then never breached the Capitol,
January the 6th.
unlike on January the 6th.
It's amazing.
Adam, this is literally worse than the Civil War.
If that's the case, then the Union Army sucks. I mean, this rhetoric is garbage.
I don't know. I was moved. I was stirred. It was stirring.
If we're doing apples to apples, I mean, it's the Confederate Army never breached the Capitol. Okay, so a bunch of felons came in and trespassed, and they were able to breach the Secret Service. Did the Secret Service, Capitol Police? What? Aren't these guys supposed to be on? Yeah.
Adam,
I mean, I guess they had the help of the FBI, so.
that was the most egregious attack on the Union since Antietam.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know. The Spanish blew up a warship in Cuba. The Germans sink the Lusitania.
No, Adam.
The Pearl Harbor attack.
This is the most significant threat faced by this country since the Civil War.
Yeah, that's weird. And fake. I don't know what to say.
Adam, I just don't think that you're grasping the gravity of the situation. There are people trying to assault our democracy by removing the right to vote for people. They're passing laws right now in this very country that says that if you're black, you aren't allowed to vote.
That's not what's happening.
Oh, isn't it, Adam?
And if people truly believe that, they're completely disconnected with reality. I mean,
Adam, isn't it, though? As we all know, black people historically have been unable to obtain identification. They
that's
just
a
can't
weird
get
thing
it.
to be
They
saying.
can't figure it out.
It's weird to be saying. Yeah, it sounds like some projection.
They just can't do it. They can't get IDs. And so to the extent that you want to make a law that says that you need an ID to vote, my God. Same as.
Yeah, absurd.
No, I don't think you need an ID to vote. I think that's stupid.
I don't
Because
Maybe.
I'm an American, and it's none of your business. And I shouldn't have to go someplace and tell you my name. And let the state put my picture in a computer.
They already do that, Zach. It's just,
Yeah,
and
I'm saying
you've been
I
fine
shouldn't
with
have
it so
to.
far.
Driver's licenses are an assault on my liberty. Don't even get me started. I'll go down this rabbit hole all night. You don't need an ID to vote. But we do need to make sure that you only vote one time. And that's not hard to do.
No.
All you have to do is say you have a day. An election day, let's call it.
The second Tuesday of the month of November.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Second Tuesday in November. You have an election day. Novel concept. And on that day, anybody who wants to vote goes to a locally centered polling place and gets to cast their vote. But how do we know that person's able to vote in that election on that day at that polling place, Adam? How do we know? Maybe, I don't. Spontaneous idea. I just got it. No one's thought of this before. We have them sign up ahead of time. We'll call it registration, and we'll say
You don't even need to do that.
we'll say you just have to sign up ahead of time, and then anybody who's registered, that's the people that are voting in the election. and then you can show up to your polling place on election day and put your thumbprint on the guy you want to vote for.
Yeah, I was gonna say you could do the thumbprint. You could do like ink. You could do whatever, and
Yeah.
you.
Oh no!
You could even.
This is shocking. I don't know how anybody's never come up with this before. My God, we're geniuses. Oh, man. How are you going to commit fraud in that scenario?
I like the thumbprint idea. There should be more places that do the thumbprint.
Yeah, they were doing it in Afghanistan. Like the first free election Afghanistan had since ever in their entire lives of being a place. And everybody who voted had to dye their finger purple with indelible dye, and it wouldn't wear off in a day. And there's no way to get it off of you, so you couldn't vote more than one time. They could see your finger. No, Adam, here's what we need instead. And this would make our election really secure. Instead of doing all of that nonsense that someone just made up out of nowhere, thinking they're so smart, really dumb, that would prevent people from being able to vote. We need to have online elections. Yes. No.
Guess who's getting elected? It's not going to be Joe Biden or Donald Trump. It's going to be President McPresident face.
Yeah. All you gotta do is go onto the website, and you type in your name. No verification, because verification is a barrier to voting, and we want as many people to be able to vote as possible. Type in your name. You don't have to register. Registration's a barrier to voting. We want as many people to be able to vote as possible. Every vote should count, Adam. So just type your name and your address, and then click a box. Better yet, type your name and your address, and it'll say if you've voted already on there.
Wait, you can actually do that. Wasn't that one guy doing that in Michigan?
There was, I don't know. I can't remember.
Sorry.
There was a thing
Tangent.
with Michigan where there was a way you could go onto the website and see if you'd voted or if your vote had come in already.
You could also, I know in Illinois, you could check to see if you're registered to vote or where you're registered to vote.
Oh yeah, it's a good idea so that you can know where you're registered, so you can actually go and vote there. Or if you're not registered appropriately to become registered.
I'm registered in 4 different places, so because of the past several years I've moved.
Well, good thing if they had one election day where you had to put ink on your thumb, you couldn't go vote in those 4 places.
Yeah, but they don't do that.
What?
They don't do that, Zach.
Yeah, in this online scenario, it's not like somebody can just type in random people's names from their neighborhood. They just pull up the online tax record of people who live in town and type their name, see if they voted. And if they had, just cast a vote for whoever they wanted. I'm sure no one would do that. I'm sure no one would write a algorithm or some sort of computer program that would do this automatically. Find all the people that hadn't voted and then automatically cast votes for whoever the preferred candidate is for these people. I'm sure no one would say, hey, if everybody's eligible to get a mail ballot, no, not even eligible. We're just going to mail ballots to everybody. Then they're not just going to take some of those ballots and fill them out for whoever they want to win the election and then send them in as if it was the person that was supposed to get them. But they didn't care or didn't know they even got it because it was...
And then also vote on election day.
Yeah. Get rid of that trash. It's so stupid. Ugh. Then no one can say there was fraud. I'm like, what? What'd you do? You pretended to be a guy that was already registered to vote? How many times were you able to do that? How does that scale to any sort of level where it could potentially even interfere with the election?
Dude, there's people scamming people all the time. In the dumbest stuff in the range of $10 to $5,000 to $100,000. That's just money, And you're talking about voter stuff, other intangible ways of doing it. So, scam artists are everywhere.
I agree. And they should be hanged.
Oh, definitely.
Along with those 200 people who committed voter fraud in Arizona.
You put above on that rope, the Nigerian prince.
And also the spies that we had in this country.
Oh,
Spies. We haven't had a good spy hanging in a long time.
absolutely.
Frankly, we're overdue. But there was an attempted kidnapping by an Iranian journalist who had fled her country because of persecution and threats. And they just couldn't abide this woman, this woman reporter, really insulting their country. So they sent a squad of men to kidnap her. There was a speedboat waiting off the coast in New York. But they were intercepted by the FBI.
Oh,
And their
wow.
plot
FBI did
was,
something?
yes, their plot was thwarted. The FBI did something competent and good.
I wonder, Zach, this goes back to about like 2 months ago. I wonder if to send in the messages, be like, oh, hey, there's an Iranian journalist who's a new citizen. Maybe you guys should come over here and get her. It's like, no, I just feel kind of worthless, and I want to just.
They honeypotted these kidnappers. Is that your current theory?
We're just talking about scams? Like, is this like the American scam? Is the FBI baiting people into federal crimes?
Well, some people. I think that's been established. I don't know about these guys. We'll see. We'll wait for that shoe to drop.
I like to believe that they were honeypotted into committing this crime. It just sounds great. It's obvious.
You know it's not obvious to me, Adam.
I don't know, but a lot of things.
When will this pandemic end? When will it end? First there was coronavirus. Then there was the Delta variant. And now we're being hit with the Lambda. Deadlier than Delta. Lambda COVID variant detected across 30 countries, including Peru. 82% of the coronavirus case samples reported from May to June in Peru were of the Lambda variety.
I don't know. This is where I get. You've got, got Indiana Jones, the Raiders of the Lost Ark. It was like good and solid. Got the Temple of Doom, another solid one. Last Crusade, good. And then you got like Crystal Skull is not as good. People are tired of it. They're worn down. I don't know. It
was just a bad film.
These reboots are just, people are just so tired of the reboots. Hey, remember this nostalgia from a year ago? Let's keep it going. No.
Adam, you didn't realize the most devastating part of the Lambda variant.
Please don't. I don't know what you're doing. Can't read that.
Oh, let me read it for you. First, John De La Rosa.
Yeah,
wait,
guys.
There's the Lambda strain now? This is just going to keep going forever, like the Weather Channel, flipping out every time it rains or it's hot, isn't it? This is what it's going to be. Oh, but it turns out Lambda strain turns you gay. This is how coronavirus wins.
They talked about long-lasting effects.
Well, like we talked about last week, they really haven't pinned down what it is that makes people gay. Maybe it is a viral infection. Can't hear you. You bumped something again. There you go.
Oh, I don't know.
You're back.
I didn't
Back
move.
again.
Well, I mean, I moved. I shifted.
No, you touched your ear, and it turned back on. So I don't know what you're doing. So it's very important that you get vaccinated. You do not want to be turned gay by the Lambda variant of coronavirus. And maybe it has the opposite effect, all you gays out there. You're going to get the Lambda variant. Next thing you know, you're going to be heteronormative once again.
Oh, I don't know. Why do I need that?
I don't know either.
Comes up from
But there is a thing I did see, and it was interesting.
the Omega strain?
The what?
I'm waiting for the Omega strain.
Oh. Is that the one that gives us mutant abilities?
I think that's the one that just like kills you all. No, I think that's isn't that the Charlton Heston film,
The Omega variant?
Omega strain?
I don't know anything about
No.
that.
It turns you into
Here's what I was going to say.
a...
There's a thing that happens to some people where you get an immune response triggered because you get like a mild infection. It could just be like a flu, a cold, even like an intestinal bacterial thing. But it triggers your immune system, and your own immune system then attacks your central nervous system, and it can cause like permanent muscle weakness and paralysis. And there is a number of cases of this syndrome occurring after you get vaccines, and various vaccines can cause it. And because all it is a triggered immune response, and they're not really sure why then it attacks the central nervous system, but it's just some immune response trigger, like an infection, and then your body begins to eat your nervous system. And the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, which is the one that I received, one shot, one kill, apparently it has triggered this in a number of people. So if I just fall over because I can no longer control my body because my own immune system has devoured my nervous system, I will continue the show from the floor.
I will not be joining you.
But as I did mention, I was vaccinated, but I didn't win. It wasn't me. Quincy resident wins $100,000 in Illinois vaccine lottery. Wasn't me. Didn't achieve victory. Didn't reward me for my sacrifice, for my risking the immune system attacking nervous system disease, for risking rare blood clotting disorder, for risking a severe allergic reaction that can result in death. Risking all those things, giving myself a shot, risking being uncomfortable for a few hours.
What do you mean risking? There was zero risks involved, is what I've been told. Anything that says otherwise is misinformation.
You got to read that sheet, man. They give you a list of stuff that might go wrong.
I was going to say they do.
Risk myocardial inflammation.
Oh my gosh, what?
Yeah, apparently for the Moderna and the Pfizer one, it was causing inflammation of your cardiac tissue, myocarditis. People that got that vaccine. The symptoms are if you feel fatigued or short of breath, and it can happen anytime in like 6 months.
Oh my gosh.
So if you got those vaccines and you ever feel out of breath, it could be because you walked up some stairs, or it could be because your heart tissue is inflamed.
Oh.
True news. True news. Coming here and triggered. So beware. I don't know. I don't know how people... I remember I decided I wanted to get the vaccination because I was trying to troll my wife. I was going to keep it a secret from her until she was being really unbearable. really lecturing me about not being vaccinated, and I would have revealed that I had been vaccinated the whole time. Sadly, I heard like the next day that blood clotting disorder could result from the J&J vaccine, and so I had to alert her of potential medical risk.
Oh gosh, why can't they ruined your plan?
It did. My fun prank.
He's like, hey, honey, I might die.
Ruined again. Every time. But you know, all the plans of Mice and Men gang Aftonglay, including if you want to say be financially secure as a millennial in this day and age. All you gotta do, Adam, is work hard and you can achieve your dreams. Just like this 30-year-old retail manager who bought her dream $474,000 Calgary townhouse. Although Calgary, so this might be in Canadian dollars. I'd have to do a conversion for you, but I'm not going to. But still, quite nice house. 30 years old. Retail manager. All those things, Adam. Clearly, if you're out there and you're a millennial, you just aren't trying hard enough. You idiot. Quit complaining.
Yeah, get it done without the insult.
Oh, hey, what's this? It says, say the line. Whoa, is this from that classic Simpsons episode where Bart got a famous catchphrase for a day? Oh, I just can't remember what it was. Hold on, let's see if it comes to me while we keep looking through this. All right. How I bought it. The townhouse was actually purchased by in my parents' name. What? They put $120,000 toward the down, but my house didn't even cost $120,000 outright.
That's, oh my gosh, that's 120 or 125?
120,000 towards the down payment.
Down payment. Oh my gosh.
10,000 of this came from a savings account I've had since I was born that's been accruing interest. I'm an only child. My parents always planned to purchase my first property in their name. Well, payments and anything needed to be done to the property is up to me and my partner to cover. In addition to this, my partner received $60,000 from his grandparents to contribute to the down payment.
Oh, I missed that part.
He's from a family of 4 boys, and 2 of the eldest have bought houses with their parents. And with his grandparents contributing a good chunk of money for each down payment. So that, what is this, almost $200,000 down payment to buy this house. That's how they did it on their, hold on a second. Wait, Adam, I think I remember what the line was.
I do not remember, so enlighten me.
How she bought her house. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. Was the line. She didn't do it. It wasn't her. She didn't do it on her own. She got assistance, and almost half of the house paid for through down payment by her parents and her partner's grandparents. I see stories like this all the time.
Yeah.
Notoriously, you hear these Dave Ramsey success stories that really set me off.
I don't know.
Well, we were doing a thing, and Ramsey solution, and a program, and it's good. The like strategies that he talks about and that kind of stuff about how you shouldn't hold consumer debt. There's really no point in it. It's just a tax basically on you to live beyond your means for a minute, and then you have to pay for it for the rest of your life. Don't do that,
Yeah.
and you'll have more money to spend on the things that you want to do. You have to delay gratification for a year or two or whatever.
Right. Delayed gratification.
Yeah. You'll be able to save more and be able to invest more, and that investment will be able to grow, and then you'll be able to have accrue wealth and be able to, improve your standard of living and all this other stuff.
Yeah,
his-
and then, like, be able to spend what you want, like, outright, and also give, right?
Yes. And that's his big
the
thing.
ultimate.
Is he builds into it then a charitable back end. But it's like, if you had all this extra money, not only would you not be, enriching credit card companies, but you'd be able to contribute to your communities, give to charity, support worthy causes, and all this other stuff. Very noble. But in order to market this, he'll get people who are like, I paid down $300,000 of debt in 6 months. I'm like, what? First off, I don't know. You have to have some sort of juice going on to be able to just even accrue that much debt without having bankruptcy forced upon you.
No, that's a good point. Yeah, no one's gonna extend that much credit to you unless you have a sizable stream of income.
I'm a 23-year-old Taco Bell line worker. They just kept giving me credit. I racked up $300,000 worth of debt buying Xbox games, chimichangas.
Yeah.
What? No, you and your spouse are both earning like 6 figures someplace.
Correct.
You're just idiots and don't know how to spend your money right. You're buying all sorts of crap.
That's right. No, that's exactly right. And then there's also like this. I mean, they would end up buying this massive house like this, and that's where he goes. And also, don't forget the cars, right?
Yeah.
They'll have like the Audis or the Porsches or whatever.
I've got to
And
drive
it'll
a
be something-
Mercedes.
And it's yeah. And it'll be something like where that's when he'll get on you about like sell those cars and get sell those $80,000 cars, get rid of them. You don't need them. You don't need the car payments. And like, yeah, I mean, I get it. I'm driving a car that's 15 years old that you can hear a mile away coming. My kids actually, you'll enjoy this. My kids today, it's like, Dad, when can you get a convertible? And I'm like, buddy, I don't know. Ask Mom. And so they asked Mom, I was like, when can Dad get a convertible? Not like, it's like, when can this family, it's like, when can Dad get a convertible? And she's like, there's like 7 people in our family. You want a convertible? It's like, and he's like, yes, I do.
You should really splurge, man. You deserve that convertible.
Dude, part of me's like, is there one of those, like 80s cars that are like, that were marketed as a sports car, but wasn't a sports car that I could find for cheap?
Should probably just get a pickup. Then I wouldn't have to help you move stuff so much.
It was one time.
One time! I've helped you move 3 times, I think.
With your pickup?
No.
3 times? What are you talking about?
3 times.
Trips?
No. Times.
No. Inaccurate.
Oh, I don't know if
Yeah.
we got time to get into some of this stuff. Running out of juice. Oh, I did want to touch on this, though, Adam.
Yeah.
Arcane secrets of the time before history have been revealed.
Oh, goody. This is always fun.
Adam, it appears someone very powerful nuked the north of the African continent a few hundred years ago. Hundreds of cities and towns were destroyed. Millions, if not billions, of people could have been killed in the process. Dun 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 dun. Check out this crater, Adam. There's no way that this was caused by some sort of natural phenomenon. Look at the rings. Look at the rings.
It's amazing.
And not only
Blue.
what?
Blue.
Not only that, Adam. It's blue. And not only that, Adam. Back there was these super accurate maps from like the 1500s, and look how green Africa is. Something happened. There wasn't even any references to the Sahara Desert in literature until after 1800. The desert was created by this attack. Why do these three craters in the fourth line up, and why are they so circular? I suggest that these three craters are part of the same plasma weapon discharge. This plasma weapon discharge created the Sahara Desert and devastated the world and prehistoric civilizations that had existed. The precursor civilizations. The advanced civilizations that existed prior to this attack that threw them and us into a dark age that lasted. I don't even know. None of this adds up, but it's apparently happened in like 1500 or whatever.
This was very fun to read.
Except for all the racism.
Yeah, that was a little weird. That took a turn, but
It really did. But you and I were talking about this, and it's clear that this was the civil war between the Atlanteans on Earth and the Atlantean colony on Mars. The Martian Atlanteans struck back a final blow with their devastating mega weapon, a plasma discharge that would change the very face of the Earth and sink Atlantis into the sea, causing the only remaining Atlanteans to have to seek refuge beneath the frozen glaciers of Antarctica in those temperate caves. While the Martian Atlanteans looked on, looking for if the Earth Atlanteans would ever reemerge, sending their probes here to watch us, and making sure that we will never make a threat to their freedom ever again. All the lines make sense! And this guy's like, hey, I need some feedback. Is this legitimate or not? And so he tweets at this guy says, what do you think about my theory? I need a peer review. Guy responds, complete crackhead deranged. 10 of 10. He's like, what do you need to make you believe this is all true? Just 3 beers. 3 beers and I'm on
3
board.
beers, that's it.
Alice and I, whatever. This is all nonsense or whatever. Alice and I were watching this shark video. It is Shark Week right now, and one of the things was this Chris Hemsworth did this Australian shark special for Nat Geo, and they put them all up on the Disney Plus. And at one point, he had to pull out a swab and swab the anus of the shark that they had captured. He swabbed the anus of the shark to collect DNA from its fecal tract so they could examine what it was eating. And then all the dominoes fell. It's plain that we're being studied by the extraterrestrials as some sort of extant biological species. And they need to find out what we eat. How would they know what we eat, Adam? How would they know? Genius will probe their fecal tracts and find out what this alien species on this little blue planet have been eating. And that's how it all happened. We are the sharks from the Chris Hemsworth Nat Geo special. They baited
No.
They baited hooks and then they captured the shark. They abducted these sharks out of the ocean. They held them out of the ocean upside down to put them into like a trance state. And they took samples. They pinned tracking devices on them. And they shoved a probe up their butt. And then released the shark back into the ocean. Presumably to go tell all his other shark friends, you'll never believe it. I saw a bright light. These creatures, they were all pink-fleshed. They took parts of me. They stuck things up my butt. And then they let me go. Oh, Jim, you're insane. That never happened. You tell the damnedest stories. It's true, I tell you, I swear to God. I swear. Won't someone believe me? That Jim, he's just insane. Adam, does that not sound exactly like an alien abduction story?
Yeah, the sharks actually do go in, like, I think I remember seeing the Steve Irwin specials and stuff, and he would flip the sharks upside down and they'd go into a trance. They'd just like freeze up or whatever.
Yeah.
Humans don't do that though. You don't freeze when you flip them upside down.
No. That was the only thing that was shark specific. But everything else, they're like snatching you up and probing you. Just doing experimentations.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about a cotton swab versus like what it describes as, I don't know, actual, insertion into the anus.
Yeah, a cotton swab to a shark.
That's
I don't know.
Same.
Six one half dozen
like,
of another.
It's like, it's like, I don't know, Zach.
I don't know. Plain to me. Plain to me.
No, it's like, should we use preparation H versus going for colonoscopy?
I think you're just trying to minimize the trauma felt by these sharks. Frankly, I'm not here for that. I'm going to shut down your shark hate right now. We have to respect. We're entering their domain, Adam. It's their domain. We're just visitors there.
No. Nope. Humans have domain over all of the earth.
And now for something completely different.
This is my gymnastic. Начинаем.
And finish off the evening as usual. We've got our ice cold fact of the week.
That was dumb. I don't know.
Ice cold fact. Very few things will ever go exactly as planned. That's true, Ice-T. 100% agree. All right, show. That's our folks for tonight. We really hope you enjoyed it.
Too much. Too much juice.
If you really liked this video tonight, please smash that like button and subscribe to this channel and comment below for the part that you liked best. You can follow Adam and I on social media. Our social media Twitter handles are located directly below our names. Now share the video. Share it with your friends. Share it with your family. Share it with your pastor. Why not? Are you afraid? Don't be afraid. Shh. It'll be okay. Adam, did you have anything you wanted to add here at the end of the show tonight?
Oh, no, I don't.
All right.
Stay away from aliens.
Excellent. I'm really hoping that you like break into like an ending monologue at some point in time. Be like, yes, I have one thing to say. And then you have like Adam's,
those
the Adam segment to close out the
Adam's
show.
Corner.
Yeah. No, not tonight! That's our show, folks! We really hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you next time on Trigger! Good night!